Hey, Tony Gaskins here. I'm a little under the weather today. Man, listen. Got in an Uber yesterday. Here go this man. This man in the Uber hacking up along. I mean, just coughing all in the air. And I could tell he probably been coughing in there all day. Windows up because it's 30 degrees outside. So I'm like, Lord, am I going to get sick? I'm like, man. So yesterday, man, I went through like chills. Went through hot flashes, like a little fever. Like I don't feel terrible. I ain't like stuffed up or coughing or nothing yet, but it's just that body in there fighting. I'm finna order me a bunch of stuff from the grocery store on Uber Eats, have it delivered. Wanted to pop on here though. Y'all got to forgive me for having my little head thing on, just comforting me right now. I ain't got my wife here to, look out for me, but when I get my little sniffer, she be. Nah, yesterday I did a video. It's one idiot. Why you breathing hard? It's because the microphone on the phone is good and it's close to my face, dummy. You got to breathe to live. This kind of stuff you got to deal with shooting videos. And then seen looked like a woman commenting as a man talking about, I'm an athlete and I don't sleep around. I don't want to abuse that or whatever. And it's like, congratulations, congratulations, keep going. Here go a cookie. When I tell y'all the truth about the matter, I'm not excusing it, I'm explaining it. And that's the problem with those people who don't seek to understand. Instead, you seek to debate. It's common sense that if you come on a married and faithful Christian man's page, that I'm never condoning promiscuity. But if it happened, it happened. That's the reality. And I'm not a liar. I'm not the type of person to come and try to paint a pretty picture and say I was this saint and I did everything the right way. No, my wisdom comes from my mistakes. Just like Apostle Paul. Apostle Paul persecuted Christians. Is that right? No. Did it happen? Yes. Should it be normalized? No. Did he do it? Yes. So the point of these videos is not to excuse, but to explain. So you got to listen to understand, not to debate. The other thing that I want to address is this is not about how it's supposed to be. It was a woman in the comments talking about, let's not act like sleeping with 100 women is normal. That is normal. Just because you don't know that it's normal, it is normal. But what you got to understand is just because something is normal is not right. But in certain communities, in certain sectors, it is very much normal. It's not something that is rocket science. So if I tell you in one breath that I slept with nearly 100 women and I was turning women down, don't it look like that's normal? If I'm turning women down, it's different if I said I was getting every single woman, doing something with every single woman I possibly could. So sometimes you got to understand context. So like the person come in, it didn't have no picture or nothing. So I don't trust that. If you ain't got no picture, stay out of the comments. If you ain't got no name and no picture, stay out of the comments. Other than that, you're a bot, just trying to cause dissension in the comments. Beg the devil spirit, and you're going to get blocked. Stay out of the comment. But here's the thing, is it's men today who still sleeping with hundreds of women. It's men today. You got to remember, I work with pro athletes. Every man can't live that life. But I work with pro athletes in the past that say they stopped counting, that they slept with over 1,000 women. And that's real. Some of these guys, I work with 2 different pro athletes who I could tell was like ladies' men. Both from the South, both black males. One said he had been with over 1,000 women, he stopped counting, but he had slept with 10 women in one day. I said, you lying. You lying. He called a security guard over. He said, hey, tell him how many women I slept with in one day. But he was doing it for I think he was trying to get somebody's spirit. See, that's a little different when you go that crazy. But to be honest with you, for us, it was, the reason why it was so normal is because it had no standards, had no class. You got to realize, as men not sleeping with theyself. So think about it. You can't act like it's rocket science. How many women do you know, have you met, that have had a one-night stand? Some of the women watching this video have had a one-night stand. Like, some of the women watching this video have met a man in the club. They went back to somebody's house or to the car, and they did it. And the thing about it is, what we have to do is grow up. You got to grow up and realize this is the real world. As long as you're expecting a fairy tale, as long as you're expecting everything to be perfect, as long as you're expecting things to be explained the way they should be, you're not going to be ready for the reality of things being the way they are. So the goal of this is for you to understand reality and then be able to dictate and control your reality by creating your standards and boundaries, morals and values. But me coming over here and acting like this stuff ain't normal and this stuff isn't happening and it's not real, that'll be setting you up for failure. And that's what happened with a lot of daddy's girls. A lot of daddy girls never get the truth from their father because their father keep on his cape. He keep on his cape because he know if he take his cape off, his daughter gonna see him differently. But it's a lot of fathers who have cheated on their wife, but how many fathers gonna go tell their daughter, I cheated on your mama? Like, let's be real. And so these women go into the world with this fairy tale, and they looking for a man like their dad, not understanding that it's a difference between your dad and your husband. Your dad is there to protect you and not lie to you, and, well, not necessarily not lie to you, but that's your father. He can't sleep with you. And that even happens sometimes. But he can't sleep with you. He can't be romantic with you. He's not finna ride off into the sunset with you. That's your father. Your husband come from a different angle. He's there. He's pursuing you. He trying to get with you. He trying to sleep with you. He trying to get a little bit of his way until he learns and he grows. So if you going out thinking that you finna meet men that's going to treat you with kid gloves on like your father, you finna be in for a rude awakening. And I've met a lot of women like that who end up in threesomes, end up in the strip club, end up being cheated on because a reality hit them and they were not ready for reality. I remember I wrote about that in one of my books. And one of my clients who was raised as a daddy girl, she wrote me, she was like, hey, was you talking about me in your book? I'm like, no, that's just life. It's happening all over the world. So my goal here is to give you the reality. Not the sugarcoat stuff, not the downplay it. I could come on here and lie. I could come on here and not be transparent. I could come on here and make excuses. But what purpose would that serve? And I'm going to touch on another video where somebody sent me where this argument of married life coaches can't give dating advice. And that's the stupidest thing in the world. And it is not the same as single people giving marriage advice. And the reason why is because a married person was a dater. And a relationship is based on principles. A relationship, a healthy one, is based on principles, morals, and values. Principles do not change. People will change their morals and values based on society, but principles do not change. What make a healthy relationship? That's not going to change. You can't be doing threesomes and going to the strip club and doing all that polyamory and all that and have a healthy relationship. That's against the principles. That's your morals. You okay with that, but your relationship is going to suffer and it's going to fail. A man ain't built for that. A man ain't built to be in that type of relationship. So that's the dumbest argument in the world. And anybody who's saying it is probably single and operating in their ignorance. And it's because they want to be able to validate their message when you just got to understand every message ain't for every messenger. Every message ain't for everybody. Sometimes you got to shut up and you got to talk about something else that you qualify to talk about. And if you in the scene dating you can't tell what's going on because you're in the middle of it. Those of us on the outside looking in, and those of us who done it and done it the right way, and now we winning in marriage, we more fit than anybody to give you the real way. So I'm going to come back and talk about that. And we're going to be in touch. Tony Gaston here, God bless you.